Hey guys, how's it going? Been a while. Been a long time. It's about 3-4 months, something like that. Where should I start? Reason for not uploading videos. No, I do have a reason. I've just been lazy. The Corrado has taken a backseat recently. So after, I don't know, what is it, 2 years? No, less than that. But a long time the Corrado's been off the road. I had a scratch, I had to itch, I needed something fun to drive on the road, so I started building, end of January, I started putting together a little toy that is just gonna, which has been really a quick turnaround, quick little build, just so I had some fun for the summer and the nice weather. Obviously, that's not gonna really be doable now because of this whole COVID-19 thing. You know, no one's really allowed to go out of the house, let alone take your toy car for a drive. I mean, that's one reason I haven't been going down the unit a huge amount. I know that's only recent. But what I'll do is I'll show you my other little toy project. And I'll chuck some photos in of me building it and whatnot, and explain that. So, yeah, world's pretty mental at the moment, COVID-19 and all that craziness. I hope everyone's staying safe, doing as you should, you know, isolating. I mean, I'm alright down my unit because it's just me. I leave my house, get in my car, drive from my house to my unit. No one else comes down here, I'm by myself. Do you know what I mean? It's alright, and I'm not coming down here a huge amount. But it's an excuse to get out of the house, because it's driving me nuts being confined to a house. Luckily I got a nice big garden, so I can do stuff in the garden and play with the dogs and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, so my last video, which I actually had to watch to see what was, because I'd forgotten, was the suspension in the back of the Corrado. Now, I did do some more on it to try and finish it all off. I had some springs come, they're on. Did a few other bits and bobs, which I'll show you in a second as well. What else has been going on? That's about it, really. World's a crazy place at the moment. It is what it is. We can't do anything about it apart from keep ourselves locked away and wait it out. So, let's crack on with what's been going on in the world of home built. 2 seconds. So, update on what's been going on in the home built world. Let's start with the Corrado, because we'll start with the Corrado. So, here it is. So as you can see, I finished a lot of bits off. I did some more welding. The springs came. I flipped the shocks because I realised they're upside down. You shouldn't run the shocks upside down unless they're designed to, which I don't think these are. So I flipped the shocks. That's done. Rear mount rad is in. That's all bolted in now. It's not finished, but it's in. The idea is I will have a couple of fans underneath, pulling the air through, and I'm going to have vents in the rear quarters with pipes down to a section here. Started putting a bit of a floor back in, as you can see. This is all kind of tacked in, temporary touched up, and then temporary sort of sealed and fillered and whatnot. What I'm going to do is do a nice line of seam sealer around every join, so it's tight, waterproof, looks kind of factory-ish as well. Obviously I got finished stuff like this and stuff that's down here. The middle panel I'm going to do from the underneath when the car's back up on the spit. So I've got some gussets in there just to stop any flex that way. What I did here, which again isn't finished, is I've sort of supported it that way to just restrict the back and forth. And the same on this one I will do the same, so I'll come off sort of up here and up to there. But with springs, as you can see, I can try and hold it steady and bounce. There you go, bouncy bouncy suspension. So what's been going on in here? Again, started the floor, well, I finished pretty much, bent up and done the panelling for the front there. So that's in, and again I'll put some more welds from the underneath, and then I'm going to seam seal a nice neat bit, nice and neat on the inside. And again, just got to do the floor, the top bit there, once that's done. Apart from that, not a lot else happened inside the car. Engine bay, again, not a lot happened. Chucked a bit of filler around. This will lead on to what today is, but so the log manifold's off, and I've got a stainless steel flange because I want to build a 6:1, which we'll talk over in a minute. Cool, so what is next is my toy I was on about, which I've been building, and it's in pieces at the moment because I've just undersealed the back end of it, the bed and the chassis legs and all the bits I've added in. So without further ado, here is my piece of shit death trap. Ba-doom. So this is a 1983 Honda Acty. This is like my first proper Japanese car, I think. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so 1983 Honda Acty pickup. Not much of a pickup anymore because there's no bed on it. So I got this, I was bored at home, saw it on Facebook, thought that would look pretty cool. Left with all the patina on it and whatnot, and do something a bit silly with it. So hanging up there, which was in it, which I made fit, it's like a 1999 GSXR 750 S-Rad engine. So that is about 140 brake horsepower, revs to like 14k I think. So it screams, it's a superbike engine, they all do. So yeah, that sits in the back of there. It is chain driven to a diff which sits there, which as you can see then goes off to the rear axle. So it was leaf spring and whatnot. I converted it to 3-link on there. The old engine used to sit here, it was a little 2-cylinder thing. It used to sit there with a gearbox. I stripped the gearbox down, took the diff out, welded it up, put it on some bearings, which is tucked away down here. So that is it, that's the drive basically. So they bolt onto the frame, chain driven, drive shafts into there. Happy days. So yeah, as far as bed wise goes, it's just going to be a wooden bed, nothing else. The paint's staying, it's staying rusty and rough as assholes, as you can see, because it's kind of cool. So interior is rough at the moment, but it normally has 2 bucket seats. That's the shifter, so it's just literally back and forth, up and down through the gears. Built a dash because the old one was rough and horrible. So yeah, built a dash, fitted in the clocks, motorbike clocks, and push start button and everything. So that's all done. I made some custom coilovers out of the original shocks, and some old coilovers I had kicking around. I sort of cut them out and made them work. So it is a bit lowered, well, it's quite a bit lowered all the way around. It runs like an external fuel pump, radiators standard. So yeah, like I said, that will be going back together pretty soon, as and when really. I'm just waiting for that underseal to go 100% solid, and then I can put the engine back in, put the axle back in, run all the wiring again. And yeah, the problem is, unfortunately, I got it with no V5 or reg. Now I've applied for the reg and the V5, and just as I applied for it, this COVID-19 happened, and the DVLA, who controls, if you're from America, controls all our vehicle registration and whatnot in the UK, started doing only more important ones, so healthcare and whatnot. all those sort of workers. So your average Joe, like me, waiting for a V5, gets put on the list. Which is fair enough, that's fine, they're more important than my rusty death trap. So yeah, that is what's been going on in the world of home build. So the truck will be my toy for the rest of this year. Once I get it on, once it's done, that will be something to drive around for a little bit of fun. While I keep working on the Corrado. And talking of the Corrado, today we are going to start the turbo manifold. So, if we go over here, so got a load of bends, hopefully enough, might not be, who knows. Cut some stainless pipe for the collector, so I'm going to do in a 6:1. So this will be the 6:1 collector. I actually got this template off, what's his name? I can't remember. Oh yeah, the Raven Seabock Drift. He's on YouTube, go check him out. I'll put a link in the description to his channel. So thanks for that, buddy. He emailed that over across to me, which saved me a lot of work and a lot of headache of testing. So yeah, idea is this, goes around there. I draw around it, whatnot, template, cut it out, and eventually they will all sit together. That's the plan anyway. So got that, got plenty of tube. And yeah, so we're going to do a custom 6-branch, hopefully, as long as I can do it. So since I got rid of that scuttle lip, there's so much room back here, horrendous amount of room. So I want to go sidewinder like my big turbo Borgwarner was, so around here somewhere. So I'm thinking 6:1, out the back, twiddly twiddly, wiggly wiggly, and all that jazzy looking stuff into a 6:1, and have, this is just a spare housing I've got kicking around, and potentially have the turbo sat about there, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have it sticking up out the bonnet slightly, and then have a custom bonnet, so you'll just see the top half, or maybe top 3/4 of the turbo will be sticking out the bonnet. So yeah, that's the plan today. Let's crack on and see if we can get this collector made. I ain't got a huge amount of time down here, but yeah, so we'll get the collector started at least. Be a lot of cutting and grinding and whatnot. So yeah, it's good to be back, guys, and hopefully more videos will be coming soon, like a lot sooner. And yeah, we'll get this Corrado on its way, basically. Sound, enjoy, guys, and see you at the end. Bye.
My spirit had to let you know, cause you don't always hear it. And my heart is where I hold you dearest, even when the visions are not the clearest. I gotta thank you for confiding in me. You really my Harley, how you be riding with me. Words don't do it justice for your inspiration. I feel like you and God are my liberation. Your legacy cemented like a stadium. Your heart is rich, that's an atrium. I love it, cause you don't care about no shock value. One thing you show me is money can't stock value. Faith is everything, it's in your foundation, and that's everything, especially in this down nation. Your love is everlasting, just like a wedding ring. You treat me like a star, even if I'm second string. I'm feeling like Maxwell because I'm fortunate. I can't take it for granted, I've been unfortunate. You got me through the pain, my life has meaning now. The dark days are gone and everything is gleaming now.
Yo, so that was a ball ache and long and lots of cutting and grinding, but there we go. So we've got 6 of them. Yeah, all go together like this, basically. The next mission is, how do I hold it all and tack it? I can't fully weld it because I'm waiting for a few bits to turn up so I can set up the purge system, so I can purge it as I fully weld it, but I can tack it together. I'm also waiting for some nice shrouds for the TIG welder and whatnot. So yeah, I will TIG it, I'll tack it together somehow. I think what I'll do is just maybe try and tack the inside and go from there. Sound? Right, let's crack on.
You give me life and you fill my spirit. Had to let you know cause you don't always hear it. In my heart is where I hold you dearest. Even when the visions are not the clearest. Yeah, you taught me beauty in the outliers. It was hard to see you cry when you put outliers. I don't blame you for putting trust in these outsiders. When things got heated, you put out fires. Fuck being perfect cause you was made perfect. All that shit that you went through, you didn't deserve it. I saw the pain in your face from them days at work. You gave me strength cause you never ever lost your worth. I know you had it hard as a teenager. I know in some situations you probably seen danger. I know they try to make the real seem stranger. I know that minor things make themselves seem major. A lot of people try to cause damage. I know some people are gonna be hard to manage. I know a lot of different things try to...
Yo guys, so this is the next day from that last bit just then. So I had a problem with the template that Ryan sent me on the other YouTube channel. It was, I think the email or my computer or whatnot was downsizing it, scaling it down. So it was actually too small and I just wasn't aware. So I had to go back and reprint it bigger so it actually wrapped all the way around the tube. So I did that and now I've come back, cut it all, and it's all tacked together. So yeah, I mean, it isn't perfect, but I'm gonna, you know, once it's fully welded on the inside, I'm gonna go around with the burr anyway and burr all the rough edges and make it nice and smooth. And on the outside, to be fair, it doesn't look too bad, I don't think. You can see in the middle, it's not 100% perfect, but again, I can weld it up and then I can just burr it all out and make it nice and smooth. So yeah, next what we'll do then is we're gonna fully weld this up. Try and do a nice neat job, so yeah, fully weld that. I don't have my new turbo, so my new turbo is going to be a V-band housing, so V-band on all of it, but I can get a rough place of where I want it with my other turbo I've got, which is like a T4 or T3 flange on it. So yeah, we'll get it somewhere roughly in place, and then what I'll do is I'm going to run a stainless bar from the flange that's on the head up to this, where I want this to sit, and then once that's in place, I've got a spare head kicking around somewhere, so I'll put the head on the table, bolt the flange on with this in place where I want it, and then from there we can start fiddling and weaving in and out, and try and get all the tubes to meet up and join and make it look pretty at the same time. That's the idea. So, sound. Cheers guys, and see you in a minute. Bye.
I'm just hoping that these words can be your bandage. You make me feel free. You make me go believe. You give me life and you fill my spirit. Had to let you know cause you don't always hear it. You give me life and you fill my spirit. Had to let you know cause you don't always hear it.
Hey guys, how's it going? So, that last clip was a couple of days ago. I decided not to put it in place because if you remember I said I was going to put a bit of bar off the flange onto the collector so then I know where I want it to sit, but wasn't 100% sure where the turbo was going to fit, so I'm going to wait for the turbo to show up. So, I mean, it's finished. It ain't the prettiest, but I mean, well, it's alright. It's the first time I've ever really done anything like this. It was hard to get in there, but yeah, it's fully TIG welded up, completely sealed all the way through and inside. So yeah, that's done. So that's now ready. like I said, I'm waiting for the turbo, so what I will do is, as I've had a little bit of time, I've put the little truck back together, so I'll give you a walk around that. And then next video will be the new turbo unboxing, which should be good. Got some good news about the turbo and whatnot, so yeah, I'll show you the truck. So, here it is back together. I started putting a wooden bed on it. So, it looks a bit different to the last clip. But yeah, engine is in. So you can see, like I said, I converted it to 3-link. So panel bar 3-link with all heim joints. Coilovers on the back now instead of leaf spring. So yeah, that is the original diff out of the standard gearbox. So I stripped the gearbox down and converted it to basically fit under there, which I'll put some pictures on at the end of the video showing you a few building pictures of it. But under there are some pillow bearings which bolt onto here, they drive in. Original drive shafts slot in through into the diff, and that's that. So yeah, GSXR 750. They're about 140 brake horsepower, and they rev to like, what is it, 14K, something like that. So they're screamers. All of this tube and box work you can see has all been put in. Obviously there was none of this. It is literally scrap out of my scrap piles that I've got kicking around of tubes and stuff. So there's a set of gates there that I've had to build for a customer. So there were some bits left over from that. So yeah, it's all literally scrap. A lot of the tube for the 3-link, leftover bits from the Corrado. The coilovers I got for next to nothing. Literally, they were they were like 10-15 quid off eBay. There's nothing wrong with them. Obviously, with the motorbike, the fuel pump is in the tank, so I literally got a cheap eBay like 044 copy pump because this doesn't run a huge amount of pressure. It is injection, so that did the job fine. Did a bit of cutting and slicing on the wiring looms. The wiring looms are all in here. ECU, everything else you need. I cut out, well, I didn't actually cut a lot out. What I did was just cut off connectors and sealed them up. So all the wiring for the lighting and whatnot's all off. So this is just, all it's using is just engine side of it. Use the original radiator, which is tucked under there. I just put electric fan on it and built a shroud for it. Original fuel tank, which I just modified and adapted. So that stayed. When I got it, you'll see, I'll put some pictures up again, it was pretty rusty, so it wasn't too bad. It looks obviously like a piece of shit, but it's all just rust on the exterior. I like it. It's nice, cool, like patina look to it. I mean, it's what, 1983, so it's pretty old now, coming on 30 years old. And it's been painted and cut about in its life. It was left on a farm for God knows how long, and then I found it on Facebook. Lad was going to scrap it. I said, drop it off my unit, I'll keep it and do something fun with it. So yeah, did that. So like there is new metal popped around in the chassis. It is nice and solid. It's probably stronger than it ever was. New LED rear lights because the old ones were shot and you can't buy them anymore. So did that. Centre exit motorbike exhaust, which I just kind of, again, was a bit of a, banged it together out of some old bits and bobs I had kicking around. Headers. Standard headers, just adapted underneath. Wheels, so these out of the factory are 4x120, which is hard to get any wheels for. So I stripped the hubs because it's hub brakes front and back. So I stripped the hubs, re-drilled them, and put studs in for 4x100. So these are Mamba 13x5.5, I think. So yeah, slightly chunkier because it came with 10 by like 4s, which would have been silly. So yeah, got those all around. I had to make some coilovers for the front because they didn't make coilovers for it. Well, they do, Gaz make them, but they're horrendous because they're custom made. So I actually made some coilovers out of some old coilovers I had kicking around in the original shocks. Again, I'll put some pictures in at the end of the video of that. So the interior, again, made just a dash because the old one was shot and I wasn't really going to use any of it. Got 2 bucket seats going in, there's one in at the moment, and harnesses. If we come inside, so that's the gear shifter. It's quite hard to show you, but it's literally forward and back through the gears. Got a hydro handbrake down there, which I will extend the top of it up. Go, brakes need bleeding at the moment. Yeah, so what I'll do is, so it's obviously on two, so two sort of looms. So all the lights and indicators run off the ignition, and then the dash runs off I got a kill switch on it, and then I just wired in the so the handlebar switches that would be on the motorbike. I sort of hacked into them and converted them to work on buttons on the dash. So that one is just a fan. You can hear, got that on the switch. I've actually got water temperature gauge there, fuel gauge there. Need to wire that up. So this one is, oh, hang on, I reckon a wire might have come out somewhere. Oh, right. Right, I've obviously done something somewhere. Let's have a look. Have I popped the fuse? I think I might have popped the fuse for it. Oh no, the cable's come unstuck where I've been doing this wooden bed. There we go. Right, let's try again. There she goes. So, fuel pump kicking in. Push start button. Boom. There you go. So, using the original throttle and clutch. It's a bit cold, so don't like it when it's cold. Go. So yeah, she's ready to roll. Really, got to finish the wooden bed. And once the wooden bed's done, I've got to wait for the V5 and the reg to come through, because it didn't come with a V5 or reg plates. So I've had to send off the VIN number and what info I had to DVLA, and then I will get a V5 and a registration number for it. So I'm waiting for that, but because of this coronavirus, they've put non-essential stuff to the side, which is fair enough. So yeah, hopefully not long now and I'll have that, so it can go for an MOT, I can tax it, insure it, and potentially kill myself, because it's going to be a death trap. It's 140 brake horsepower and it weighs under 500 kilos. You can literally pick the back of it up and move it around. So oh yeah, it's got no reverse gear, but again, it weighs under 500 kilos. You can push it with your little finger and it rolls. So, and it'll literally do a donut on the spot, on the dime. So, if I need to turn around or whatever, do a 3-point turn, I'll just do a quick drop the clutch at full revs and it will spin around. So yeah, there she is. That is my summer toy while the Corrado gets done. So, sound. Yeah, next video, I'm going to call it quits there. Next video is turbo unboxing, and hopefully get the collector in place, and then I can, like I said, whip it all off, put it on my spare head, start building this 6-to-1 manifold up. Well, try build this 6-to-1 manifold. Again, like a lot of stuff on my Corrado, I've never made a turbo manifold or anything like that, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sound right. Cheers, guys. Hopefully, I will see you soon. Cheers. Bye.
In my heart is where I hold you dearest. Even when the visions are not the clearest. You give me life and you feel my spirit. Had to let you know, cause you don't always hear it. In my heart is where I hold you dearest. Even when the visions are not the clearest.
Oh, they know what this is. Yeah. Get familiar. See that? Yuck. Prince of the bars, and she don't ever take offense to the mall. Kissing the bras off, y'all could kick it tomorrow. I'm privileged, star business, I ain't tripping your broad, get it? So keep the sister arms slim for the charm, pimpin'. I'm going in on these foreign women, the dumb winning. No calm in them, I just get up and spark. The pause in it's like a venomous dart to the tip of my heart that I'm immune to. Rip it apart, you live it, but your feet aching, and this is sweet.